Welcome to the New England Film Festival. This is a platform to get artists together to create more art. Festival created by artists and for artists. This is for you. New England Film Festival. Hi Lisa, thank you very much. I was dying to meet you, to be honest with you. And yeah, it's a pleasure to have you here. My name is Aldrin Romero. Besides that, I am the New England Film Festival director. I'm a filmmaker and I am a documentarist as well. I was doing documentary for university, and my other side, as I always says, is doing films. Most of the thing I do is drama and touching themes that no one else like to touch.
Aldrin, thank you so much for having me. My name is Lisa Marie Tedesco. I was the writer, director, producer, a little bit of everything, I guess you would say, on the short film, The Paradise Road, that you guys screened recently. And I'm so happy to be able to talk to you today. So hope the Boston area didn't get too smacked with snow. Down here in New Haven, Connecticut, I think it's just turned to ice. So I see a lot of people ice skating down the street as we talk right now.
That's awesome. I'm front of my window also, but we did have a lot of snow. It's
Yeah.
raining. It's raining right now, but it's beautiful. I love snow. To warm up, I'm gonna put few seconds of the Paradise Road.
Great.
One thing before I start asking you a couple of questions that I have for you is that I'm very happy and I'm very glad that you did this film,
Thank you.
because yeah, it's very necessary and it's very beautiful, and that's what I want to talk to you about this film, because I think it's a film that we need in this time. But Lisa, where
Yeah.
this idea comes from, why Paradise Road come to be in the screen?
Well, I wish I had some kind of magnificent answer and story for you, but Shelley Rowe, who plays Ellie in our film, she produced the film with her production company Puyo Films out of Tijuana, Mexico, and she actually is one of my really good friends. One night we were talking. We always wanted to, work together one day. Well, we weren't really sure with what. We were like going back and forth. You want to do like a vampire movie, you want to do a horror, you want to do a drama, you want to do a comedy, blah, blah, blah. One day she was just like, can you write me the saddest thing you think you could write? And for some reason, I just thought of, also, I tend, not tend, but I only really write LGBTQ content. That's what I'm most passionate about. So I knew I wanted to write something with two women, possibly just getting married, and seeing where that led. And it just led to a point where, I mean, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but, they're at this home where they have to make this kind of life altering decision and kind of be with each other through these moments. So when I presented it with her, I actually only took about a night to write it, and it only went through 2 or 3 drafts before we got it. She said that it was perfect and that she had the perfect location for it. And it was actually shot in Baja, Mexico, like on a cliffside. So it literally was like a 24-hour thing where it went from asking me to write something really sad to presenting it to her to basically jump starting it into pre-production. And once we had all those elements together, we then dove into really hardcore research and watched certain things with this element included into it already to see how other people did it from their different perspectives. So honestly, it was pretty quick. Besides the whole just getting the money part, which is the slowest part always. It honestly, if we had the money on day one, it probably went from script to it probably could have went from script to screen in like a week. But that's how fast it went.
So you'd say that it took a night to write the script. So, and you have a member of the casting already, which was the producer. So, from the minute that you guys finished to write the script to the ending, to be able to put this film on screen, how long it took?
I'd say from the moment I ended the writing process to it being ready with all of post production, it took about a year and a half. But that was with some small challenges and roadblocks, with money and scheduling and all that. If those didn't happen, it probably could have been maybe about 10 months for the whole thing. But, people's schedules change, people have lives. We needed a few extra $1,000 here and there for certain things. But all in all, about a year and some change from me talking with Shelley Rowe about the script to it being totally ready and uploaded for film submissions and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, about a year and some change.
I know it takes time sometimes because people don't know how difficult it could be. What do you think would be the most challenge, the most difficult in this film?
Um, with this film, there were some certain environmental elements that we had to um, kind of explore and challenge that challenged us. Like I said before, we were in the mountainous regions of Baja, Mexico, and of course the weather was perfect the week before. And the first day we had a hurricane, and then
Oh,
so we had to change shooting schedule to flip around what that impacted sound a lot, and it also closed the road down to the main strip where we would get people coming in and out and in and out. So we even had a car catch on fire because a telephone pole crashed on it. Like, we were seeing all these things. That was one big elemental, like, environmental situation we had. That and trying to crunch a 3-day shoot into almost a 2-day shoot because of a situation like that. So the act of unknowing, I just go into it knowing that shit will always happen. Sorry for swearing, but shit always happens.
oh wow, that's a lot of things happened. And what would you think was the easiest for
I
you in this
think the easiest was just everyone just working together. Like, it was just so easy, the camaraderie, and my two stars, directing them was like a dream. Like, I just left them alone and they just grew in their relationship. And like, even my crew were just so on the ball. Like, I never had to really say anything. I never really had to like, I was just there. Like, I don't like, I was just standing there and just watching this all unfold. And people would just work their magic. I think the easiest thing was just having everyone just work together and knowing what their part of the job was, and just getting it done flawlessly. It was just so easy to see it, to watch it. That
it's
was great.
amazing. It's amazing when everybody get in the same boat and everything start rolling. That's one of the magic thing that happens. It doesn't happen all the time. So I'm very glad that happens to you because you can see it in the final product. The connection, the energy is just so beautifully, and the location also is just amazing. You use a drone to do
Yes,
all
did have a drone op. He was while we were like in between shots or on break, we'd always just tell him to go out and just play, like go out and play, go get like aerials of everything. And there was um, one point where we were in a van behind the car, or with our two actresses weren't driving. We had two dudes doing it because that VW bug barely worked. So we had two guys driving it on that opening shot, and we were in a van about a half mile back. I had my drone up next to me, my cinematographer next to him, and we were watching the screen, just following the car. It took maybe like four passes and we got it. But yeah, he was great. He just brought that, and I was like, just go have fun and just go get all of the aerials you can of this beautiful landscape.
Beautiful landscape. It's just amazing. And I have a question. Do you after, because it happens to me when I finish a film, I go back and when I watch it, because I have to watch it, you know, many times, and I'm always want to change something. Or if I did this, if I did that. In this film, do you think that do you change something? And if you do or not, which what thing will you think you will change? Or you have more money will do something like that.
That's a good question. I think the film as a whole, I love it. Um, I just wish we had more time. Always wish you have more time, because there are certain little things that I noticed that I would go back and not necessarily change, but fix. Because there were some
Improve.
improve. Like there was a point where, all of us felt that there might have been like a shot missing, just like a reverse shot, or like some little things to improve or clean it up a little bit more, to tighten it up a little bit. But I think the film as a whole is gorgeous and perfect as it is for what we accomplished in that amount of time. But again, if we had like one more day or even just a half day, there'd obviously be things that we could definitely improve on. But for what we got with the weather and all of that, the situations that we, had to deal with, I think it is where I wanted it to be.
It seems in the films that the weather was beautiful.
Yes, the next 2 days after the hurricane left, it was perfect. But for that one day, we were all just little drowned rats. Like I had jacket on, umbrellas everywhere. The house at least was fine. We got all of our interiors done on that day. But
Ah, okay. You did interiors that day, so
yeah, we had to switch around everything. So we did all interiors that day. Tried to make it look a little sunny by blowing out the windows outside. But anything outside, we really had to wait on the weather. Yeah. So the next day and the final, we did it in 3 days. So like day two and day three were very sunny. It was like nothing ever happened.
okay, yeah, because it looks very nice. If you say that, it looks like a wow. For
Mm-hmm.
when that happens, because it doesn't show what's that's the magic. You have to wait and all that. And Lisa, what did you do in this film?
I wrote and directed it. So I was the one just pointing everywhere, making sure that the story was present. So
But
that's
you let's watch a little bit, a
sure.
little piece, and I have other questions for you. Beautiful. Um, One of the question is, well, I work in a university. One of the the mains of doing this film festival is to teach students, the art of filmmaking, the art of storytelling,
Hmm.
the perfect example of a beautiful storytelling. And one of the questions that I have is, you have any reference from the point of view, cinematographically, or if you had inspired by some directors, some film, because I do always, when I do films, always looking, I'm a painter as well, so I look for paintings, I look for stuff that give me idea of how to do this or that.
Um, yeah, so when we first started with this, my cinematographer, Carrie Glassman, and I discussed any kind of reference or like anything like that. And I always go back to Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I don't know if you've seen that, but it is a gorgeous French film. It premiered at Festival des Cannes in 2021, I think I
It's
want
a
to say.
really young film then.
Yeah, and it is just
Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Portrait of a Lady on Fire. It is so beautiful. The cinematography is amazing. It is another LGBTQ film. I believe it won the not the Palme d'Or, but the I believe it won Best Screenplay at the Festival des Cannes, if I'm not mistaken. And the Queer Palm, I think it won. So I took bits and pieces for coloring with that aspect. Very warm, very vibrant, very almost like dusty even. So I use that reference a lot. I love Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I use that with a lot of my films too, to make that look kind of like that. Um,
I have to look for that film. I love the Festival of Cannes. I'm a very big fan of European films.
yep.
I need to check it out. I'm gonna
Yes.
look for it, and I want. Yeah, that's gonna be my new homework. Look for the Portrait of the Lady on Fire. It's a French film.
I could even put it in the chat for you.
Yes,
Yes.
love to look for it and look and take a look, because I love all these, Europeans and French films are amazing. And wow, what is your favorite director and favorite film? Let's see.
Oh goodness, you that's
I
so
know
broad.
you can pick. You can pick one or two, three. I know it's impossible to pick one because I can't do it.
It's so crazy. Oh man. Um, Honestly, I have a few top films that I love. I love weird directors too. Like I love Wes Anderson. I love Guillermo del Toro. I love Yorgos Lanthimos. I love Robert Eggers. I love like the weirdness of their brain, how they use intricate shots, and how their cinematography always looks gorgeous. I love for filmmaking also, like I love weird stuff too, which is like totally the opposite of what a Paradise Road is. But I love like let's see, uh, oh man, if I had to name a few,
But
Like Harold and Maude. I did a scene study of Harold and Maude when I was in film school back in 2005, and then that movie just stuck with me because of the relationship between an old woman and a young man, and this movie being made in the 70s it was just like different for its time. I thought that movie was great. I love A League of Their Own. I watch that constantly. Makes me so happy.
Leave out. I remember like the first one that you mentioned. I have watched that film with the old
Mhm.
lady and the guy
Yep.
and the kid. That's amazing. What the lead of the long? Which one is it? It's just with name and
It was Penny Marshall. She directed it, and it was about the female baseball team in the 40s with Gina Davis. You
oh,
had
Madonna.
Madonna.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, I ring my bell. I know that film. I think I do have it. Of course, yeah, yeah, yeah. With Gina Davis and Madonna. What is the other? This lady. Uh,
Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell. Yes, I love that film. Of course.
It just makes me so happy. Like I don't go into it with a critical eye at all. It just makes me very happy to watch it.
At the end, you can see them all
Yes,
seeing the
and
yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
sing
yeah,
the
yeah. I
song.
remember, of course, yeah. So that well, but yeah, well, it has a little flavor of you can relate because it's the empowering the
It is very empowering. Yes.
yes, yes, and your film Paradise Road. Why is called Paradise Road?
I was just thinking of something like that word, like almost a double meaning. Like you have, like there, the opening is them driving on this road to paradise,
To
and that would be your literal meaning. And then at the end, if you believe in that, which her character believed in the higher power, she was entering paradise. You know, so I tried to make some kind of double meaning towards the title.
it's like poetic vision, a meaning of going through. It's like when you go into a road, you go into paradise, but the paradise could mean
Right.
ways.
Like Shelley's character Ellie was more of since she was struggling and fighting with her internal and external
Yeah,
illness, she didn't necessarily cling on to some kind of faith, but she believed it over her wife Shay. So in essence and in some form, she may have been entering her own kind of paradise at the end. So that kind of played into it a little bit.
so both of the leading act of the casting, the actresses. You didn't have
Yeah.
to do the process of
So it was pretty simple to cast it. Shelly was like, "Write me something. I want to be in it." I'm like, "No problem." So she was automatically going to be Ellie no matter what. And then Mandala Rose, who played Shay, is actually one of my dearest friends. She is from Adelaide, Australia. She was in my first film called August in the City back in 2017. We released that. And since then, she has been living in Los Angeles and been doing amazing film and television work out there. So when I wrote this, I instantly thought of her for the character of Shay. And, I'm on the East Coast and both of them are on the West Coast. And I was like, just meet each other. Let's see if there's any chemistry. And they instantly just hung out for hours and hours and hours. So I knew that it was going to work well.
that's amazing. That's very beautiful. It's just you can tell, and both actresses are very intense and very nice. I think it's a very easy film to watch and very strong as well. And the message is just devastating. It's very realistic. You know,
It's interesting because when we've gone to film festivals with each other, and at the end when we have Q&As, a lot of times they're asked if they're actually together.
yeah.
Nope, they're not.
Oh, you say no? You say
They're not. They're not actually. They're
no?
not.
Of course, no. I know they're acting.
But yeah, everybody thinks they are because like even off screen, they're very close. So like I could see how people might assume it, but like the chemistry on screen was just so raw and intense that a lot of times we get the question of are these two actors like together, like are romantically involved, and we're always like, no, they're not.
Yeah, no, you got because it's very beautiful portrait. That's why. That's why I can tell people asking those things. Any advice for whoever wants to make a film in this time? Is this type of subject, which is a subject that people is afraid. People doesn't want to touch. Sometimes they want to go to the commercial, the easiest road, just to use the word from Paradise Road, and they don't want to, make films artistically in this level and with a message so strong. So, you have any advice for students who have doubts? So, how can they go and make something like without any obstacles, just to say, like an advice, how can they make their film?
Well, I think
I know it's a weird
I
question.
know that was like like a heavy question. You have to feel it in your heart. Like even if you know that the subject matter is tough, you know that the process is going to be tough. You still have to. It's like a band-aid. Rip it off and take your chance because there's no time like the present. You might not ever get that chance again, or it might lead to something bigger and better. Like I always tell people who want advice to find your people, to find your group that lifts you up, that will help you no matter what. Will read your script time and time and again, and vice versa. You got to do the same thing for everyone else. It can't just be a one-way street, but you have to find the people who care about your story, and then you care about their story, because it just makes it so much easier to press onward. Like I have the people of Paradise Road, they just were so into this story, and I knew that with them backing me in the project, it was going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience. So even though filmmaking is extremely hard and all your emotions are going to be like a roller coaster, it's so fulfilling to have a final product that you're proud of. And I just think just go for it, just do it, because if you don't and you try and take the easy way out, you're going to have regrets, and you don't want that. I mean, if you want to make commercials, if you want to make other things to get your foot in the door, absolutely do it. If you're presented with that opportunity, I would definitely take it. But for yourself, if you want to be fulfilled as possible, I would just rip that band-aid off and just do it. Make that story, make that crazy story, make that sad story, make that funny story, make whatever story that you feel is going to have an impact and make you happy, because at the end of the day, the film you make is for you and no one else.
That's awesome. I have a question for myself. The crew, how big it was?
Oh boy.
You
Uh,
have director, you have director
yeah.
photography.
Yeah, we had the production crew itself was about 35
Oh
people.
my god.
Yeah, and we had full catering up there too. We loaded up a catering truck and they like made us meals every day. We had drivers to bring us up and down the mountain. Like we had grips, we had production assistants, we had hair and makeup, we had gaffers, we had the DP, we had assistant camera, second assistant, assistant directors. Yeah, we had about 35 ish, if
Wow.
not more, up there.
Sound,
Yep,
a
sound.
drone, I heard. Wow, you have pretty much everything. Wow, that's amazing. That's a huge production.
Yep, and that's not even including post production, which was
No, no,
another
no, no, no. Post production.
like 25 people. But yeah, it takes an army, it takes a village.
It is an army to create something like that. And I want to touch this because people have to understand the difficulties of getting everybody together in the same road.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of
Exactly.
the most important thing, because if you don't have everybody together, something will stop somewhere. Everybody goes to go in the same road, and it's very very important to know that you have to work with a lot of people. And wow, having a crew of that magnitude, the budget goes up.
It certainly does. Up and up and up.
Yes, that's another wow. I bet that the how do you find the budget? How do you found this film?
Interesting enough, I just asked. Like, this was the first film I didn't have to crowdfund for. Um, I had. my old university actually gave some money towards this, which was like the foundation of it. And then me and Shelly both said we would take half the budget each. So we kind of were like, all right, we split up and resourced our own kind of money that way. She asked people over in California and in Mexico, and I kind of asked people over here on the East Coast. You know, it everything adds up. No amount of money is too small. So even if somebody was like, I can give you $50, and I'm just like, you know what, that's great.
That's
That's
great.
someone's meal for the day. Like, thank you.
Yeah,
So like, it took about 9 to 10 months to actually secure the full budget, and just by asking people. Um, yeah, we didn't have to do a Seed and Spark or Indiegogo this time, so that was nice. It's not that I despise them; it's just it takes a lot out of you to do a crowdfunding campaign.
it is. And Lisa, what's the next project? Do you have any project?
Yeah, so I'm just producing now. I'm not directing or writing at this moment. I signed on to be a producer for my friend's short film called The Delicate Medium. It's a queer thriller, kind of dark situation about a writer having ghosts he has to deal with, either metaphorically speaking or literal. Um, and a lot of these actors come out of the Broadway community because my friend is on Broadway. So I think a lot of people are going to recognize the people involved once we get this moving. We have about 60%, 65% of the budget right now. So we're working on getting the last little bit, and then hopefully going into production in like early summer.
Every summer. Oh, that's awesome. It's a short film.
Yes.
That's great. That's just fantastic. Usually, what I do is I am constantly getting people together, trying to, if there's a project and you meet someone like, doing lighting or doing whatever. The good thing is to have, networking and see who can do this and that, because you always embed when a production comes looking for
Mm-hmm.
some actors, the good thing is to have at least someone to be able to, I shoot you an email, Lisa, do you know some actress around New England? Because,
Yep.
this is where
Yes.
networking, I think, is one of the most important and powerful tools we have right now,
Absolutely.
because we can make stuff, I mean, together. And in this moment that we're living, being together is the most important thing, I think.
I agree. And
Yeah,
that's why going and having, film festivals like this and like locally um, are very important too, because those are like the biggest networking events. If you can find time to get to a film festival, that's honestly your biggest networking event that you could possibly do. I mean,
yes.
everyone is there for the same reason. They love movies.
They love movies and they love to work, and that's the connection that you get, and you never know. That is what I get a lot of work going to film festivals.
Mm-hmm.
I met a bunch of people, and I give my card, my information, and I get work done because of that. The connection, I think, is the most important.
Yes.
So, Lisa, thank you so much for
Thank
taking your time. It was a great pleasure, and I cannot wait to see your phones. I have to send. We have to get together and send it to me, and I send you mine.
Yes, I will send you anything I have.
Thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure, and I love Paradise Row, and I hope that you continue sending to film festival and getting recognition, because it's well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you for enjoying it, and I hope your students did too.
Yes, they did. It was amazing. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Lisa. I talk to you soon.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
New England Film Festival.